One of the most interesting concepts to me regarding the armies in War and Order are the designs of the individual troops. No, I don't mean the graphical designs, although those are actually pretty impressive on their own. I'm talking about the game design of troops. There are 4 primary troop types: infantry, cavalry, archers, and mages. There are also other unique types of units beyond the primary 4, such as golems and angels. I'm not going to go into the specific details regarding each troop type in this video. Instead, I'm going to look at the concept of troop skills and alternating troop tiers. If you are new to War and Order, you likely won't have any idea what I'm talking about. Each type of troop has a certain number of troop levels which are unlocked as the level of the building in which they are trained increases. For the primary 4, this building would be the barracks. We call the increasing level of troops troop tiers. As a new player, you would start with tier 1 troops in your level 1 barracks. As your barracks increases in level, you will unlock additional tiers of troops. Unlike some other games, the barracks can train any of the primary 4 troop types. You aren't locked to a specific troop type, which is nice because it allows for greater training flexibility. Now, each troop type has specific stats for their hit points, attack, defense, and more in the top right of the training screen. Underneath all those numbers, you will see icons for troop skills. Yes, troops actually have skills, and this is where the concept of alternating tiers comes into play. You may have noticed that the race of units alternates. Odd number tiers are of the same race, while even number tiers are of a different race. The troop skills will also vary across troop tiers, but there is a pattern to the variation. This is the important part. Odd tiers, such as tier 1, 3, 5, and so on, tend to focus on defensive skills, while the even tiers, such as 2, 4, 6, etc., tend to focus on offensive skills. This statement is not completely accurate in every case, but it's a fairly good rule of thumb. Make sure you take a look at unit skills and do some exploration yourself to get a good understanding of troop specialties. For example, let's look at Tier 5 Ground. The Tier 5 Ground unit is human and has the skill Blockade, which raises their HP when they are defending in battle. Tier 6 Ground, on the other hand, are Orcish and have the skill Mage Resistance, which reduces the damage taken from mages. While Mage Resistance seems like a defensive skill, it can be used offensively as well. In fact, since mages are often a defensive favorite for players, you'll probably find more use for the skill offensively. I'm sure some people out there are now wondering why mages are a favorite for defending, so let's take a look at mage skills. Odd tier mages are human and have an offensive skill called Restrain Cavalry that provides bonus damage against cavalry. Conversely, even tier mages are elven and have the skill Fortify City, which gives the mages a damage bonus against all enemy troop types when they are defending the city. Let's look at archers next. Even tier archers are elven and have the skill Restrain Infantry, which provides a damage bonus against infantry units. Odd tier archers are human and have the skill Restrain Mages, which provides a damage bonus against mages. Finally, we have cavalry, where the human odd tier cavalry have the skill Archer Resistance, which reduces the damage they take from archers, while the Orcish even tier cavalry have the skill Siege, which provides an attack bonus when the unit is being used offensively. The last important thing to talk about is how you should be using these tiers. It is absolutely true that each tier has a special focus, and that should be part of your consideration when training troops. However, just because a unit has a defensive skill doesn't mean it won't be useful in offensive combat. For example, let's say your max tier of troops is tier 7 and you are planning an attack. It's true that the troop skill for tier 7 ground won't be activated during an offensive battle. However, tier 7 units still naturally have higher raw stats than tier 6 units, so they will of course be valuable in battle. There may be cases where the distinction matters to players for PvP operations, but those cases are very limited until possibly later in the game when you are near max castle level. Realistically, the tiers matter more when deciding when to focus on training troops. If you have a lot of defensive type units, you may want to lay off training those for a while and work on your offensive units as an example. Keep in mind that troop promotion in the drill grounds cannot change the race of a unit. An orcish infantry unit can't undergo some elective surgery operation to suddenly become a human infantry unit. So if you only train one style of troop, you will be limiting your playstyle, and that's where I think the distinction between the alternating tiers becomes most important. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Evony. I'll see you in the next video.